Shalom everybody, I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where you join me for a date every Monday to Thursday for your top stories from Israel. And as always, we are brought to you by Lay of the Land. And of course, you can check out all our content on our website at www.layoftheland.online, including recordings of the Israel Brief. Today's brief might be a little bit longer. I want to cover a few topics, and you can see I don't have my mic with me today because it is quite an emotive Israel brief. I want to warn you that there will be some graphic content, so if you are easily triggered, you are kind of forewarned. Forewarned is forearmed. So let's get into the top stories. We are on day 34 of Israel's war against Hamas. We begin with news. The IDF have notified or made public that 2 more soldiers have fallen in defense of the country since Israel's incursion into Gaza. This marks 32 soldiers who have fallen fighting for our country. May their memories be blessed. Last night, in an extraordinary scoop by Honest Reporting, and I really encourage you to check out their work. You can find them at honestreporting.com. They made public knowledge an incredible scoop where it is believed that journalists and photographers from some of the main news sources, Reuters, Associated Press, the New York Times, and CNN, were embedded with Hamas terrorists when they infiltrated into southern Israel on the 7th of October. Now, of course, it begs the important questions. Did they know what was going to happen? Were they in on the planning of what was going to happen? And did their employers know what was going to happen? One journalist is even filmed on camera with a grenade in his hand, and they captured, there is footage of them capturing the massacres, the slaughter, the rapes, the torture, the kidnapping as it unfolded. Now, I know that there are many out there who are doubting whether or not this actually happened. This happened, and not only did Hamas record it, members of the mainstream media did as well. Now, as you can well understand, this has led to outrage across Israel and across the world. Our government press offices demanding answers, demanding investigations coming from these media outlets. CNN released a statement earlier today that they have severed all contact with the photojournalist that they were using, a freelancer who was caught on camera being present there on the day. The leader of the National Unity Party, Benny Gantz, tweeted on X. He said that in his opinion, any journalists that were with Hamas are on the same level of those terrorists, and they should be punished as the terrorists. So we will be following the story and seeing how it unfolds. Last night, Haaretz, which is one of the Hebrew dailies here, also released the first eyewitness accounts of rapes on the 7th of October. These are absolutely harrowing to read, these accounts, the testimony of our beautiful daughters of Israel who were raped by these terrorists. When they were caught and interrogated, the terrorists said they wanted to dirty our women and children. Women and children were raped, some to the point, or most to the point actually, where their pelvises were shattered, where their legs couldn't be closed for burial. This is what they did to us in their depraved and barbaric way. One eyewitness in these very, very distressing accounts compiled by Lahav 443, one of our police units, describes how she saw her friend pulled by her beautiful long brown hair, her pants shoved down. She was raped by one terrorist and then passed on from another to another to another before finally being shot in the head. This is very, very distressing to hear, and it's important that we hear this. It is important that we hear this, that we bear witness to the atrocities that happened on the 7th of October. Israel's war with Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. We did not invade Gaza out of nowhere. It happened and we are hitting Hamas targets as hard as we can to ensure that this doesn't happen again. As a woman, as an Israeli, as a journalist, the trauma of hearing this. I don't mind sharing a personal account. As a journalist covering the story, I was subjected to a rape threat online by somebody from Egypt threatening to rape me. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because it seems that for the haters out there that have dehumanized Jewish women and Jewish children, that they feel that it's okay, that they have a green light to issue these kinds of threats at us. But make no mistake, we will not be quiet, and we will expose you. We will expose you for who you are. The IDF have continued to operate deep within Gaza City. We have also seen some of the footage being released by the IDF, including tunnels that have been found with their entrances in children's bedrooms. Again, and I stress this again and again and again, and so does every spokesperson who is speaking on behalf of the state of Israel, when we say that Hamas, these terrorists, embed themselves within the civilian infrastructure. This is what we're talking about. They do not care if it's children or a mosque or a school or a hospital. Last night we saw the footage of interrogations with Hamas terrorists who said there's a reason why they hide out in Shifa Hospital. The top brass is in Shifa Hospital, and the reason they do it is because they know Israel will not bomb a hospital. And they said quite openly, quite happily, we use ambulances. We use ambulances to transport our fighters. We use ambulances to transport our weapons. We have our own ambulances, and this is what we use them for. So we call on you, when the mainstream media does not hold these terrorists to account or do not give the full facts, challenge them, because the evidence is out there. It's in recordings, it's in interrogation videos, it's in footage obtained by the IDF, which they are making public. They have declassified this and made it public so that you, the media consumer, can see for yourself. There were reports as well yesterday that Qatar was possibly brokering a deal for the release of hostages. There were rumors that maybe 10 to 15 hostages, including 6 Americans, could be released. Now, this has been denied by Prime Minister Netanyahu, who said, don't believe reports of hostages being released or any of this, and stressed, saying there will be no ceasefire until all of our hostages are released. And just a reminder that Hamas is holding 240 people hostage, including babies as young as 10-month-old Kafir Bibas. He's turned 10 months old in captivity. 3-year-old Abigail, to the elderly in their 80s. One woman has dementia. My prayers are that she has locked into a world remotely detached from the depravity and the barbarity of what we can expect from Hamas terrorists. So those are our top stories making headlines. We continue to stand behind the IDF. They announced this morning that they'd taken hold or control of a Hamas stronghold, having fought in the tunnels for 10 hours. They are fighting asymmetrical warfare, the likes of which I don't think any other country understands unless you were part of the Allied forces fighting ISIS in places like Raqqa and Mosul. This kind of urban terror asymmetrical warfare. So that is it from me for today. Don't forget to check in with me again on Monday for your latest developments in Israel's war against Hamas. In the meantime, please check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our Facebook page at Lottel's site. Our YouTube channel is at The Israel Brief. Click on that red subscribe button. Help us get Israel's story out to as many people as possible. We're on X at Lay of the Land 5, And I wish you all a safe, a peaceful weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Stand tall, stand strong, stand proud. And I'll see you again on Monday.